All right, this is a really quick review of a e-bike I just purchased. This is the Tomo free e-bike. It's built like a scrambler. You'll see Smart Travel mentioned on the bike title. That's actually the third-party drop shipper on Amazon who I purchased it from. They put their own branding on there. I may or may not keep that logo. But yeah, ultimately this is coming from a Chinese distributor called Tomo Free. They have a couple other e-bikes on their website. This is the one that caught my eye. Let's see, this bike is currently listed at $1,600 and some change, possibly still $1,699. I wanted to make this video not to kind of make a traditional bike review because I am not an e-bike reviewer. I get no sponsorship from this. I just wanted to talk about why somebody might find utility in this other than seeing it as a glorified toy and fad. I think this bike in particular is really good for my lifestyle because, I am a electric vehicle owner and I wanted to get back into biking. I used to bike a lot when I was younger. I'm getting in my 40s now. So I wanted to have something that kind of had, I guess, the exercise potentials and quality of a regular bike, but also something that I can get up to 30 miles an hour on if I need to get into traffic quickly before I get to my next, trail ride. So this was perfect for what I needed. Now I have another e-bike. It's a foldable bike. It's a 500 watt. This particular bike is a 1200 watt. The mirrors that are added on there are aftermarket. And the tires too. Those are from a company called V-Moto that make really good road tires as well as many other tires. This bike came with what were called knobby tires. They were basically tread-focused tires for off-road, but you can ride them on the street. There are different versions of these tires you can find. If you are like an enthusiast to e-bikes, you are already aware of the Super 73 whole library and cultural focus. So you can go there if you want to find some really great scrambler style tires. But I'm a street rider, so these work perfect for me. Let's see, this bike can hold up to 350 pounds. Actually, those shocks back there, from what I've come to understand, can hold up to 1,000 pounds. So you will want to adjust them. They are adjustable. You can just hand twist them. You want to adjust them to your weight and height ratio till it feels soft, because you'll get a stiff ride from that if you do not. And then those are hydraulic shocks. This does have also hydraulic brakes. It does have, traditional, I would say motorcycle style handlebars. And then it has a pretty decent heads-up display. Now there's a little trick with the heads-up display in terms of if you are an e-bike owner and you've run into the same issues that I've run into, which is that sometimes you get a false read on the battery's life. If you just turn it off for like a few seconds and then turn it back on, you'll get a true read to what your battery's gauge is. I don't know what it is, but just for some reason when you go full throttle for a while on an e-bike, and I've heard you can adjust this in the software settings, so I haven't done it yet, but it just kind of gives you this false read on battery life, but just turn it off and on and then it'll give you a true read. Anyway, this bike also comes with a carry case. So I felt a lot of these features were, a pretty decent investment for a vehicle that can go up to 34 miles an hour. I clocked it today at 32. I'm riding it daily to try to see if I can get that full 34 out of it. Now I am 5'11", 175 pounds. I think weight ratio is very important when considering that full 34, but it has a lot of torque on it. I say that relative to an e-bike with a rear hub motor, but for an e-bike, it has a decent amount of torque. I think it's like 80 Newton meters, or however you gauge the unitary torque measurement. But yes, it's a pretty decent bike for the price range. Now, typically, bikes in this Class 3 range go for $3,000 to $4,000. You know, if you're talking Super 73s, you know, which is really where I would put this in the category. I wouldn't say like an Onyx or like a Suron or anything like that. But the bike is a great commuter, and I think you get your money back for just those reasons alone. You know, carry options, pretty decent ride height. It feels natural, you know. It's got decent torque for what it is, and, you know, some tiny style points. Anyway, pick it up, $1,600.